Okay, hey everybody, welcome to the weekly Conversion and KV Core Tactics webinar. These are recorded and they can be found both on Facebook, facebook.com/conversion/videos, and also on the Inside Real Estate YouTube channel. I just uploaded them all to the Conversations playlist. That's what we used to call these, and they're all in order. And one advantage to watching these on YouTube, of course, is that you can speed them up. I don't know if you know this. I'll start today's session off with a quick hack and a tip. If you click the gear icon on any YouTube video, you can watch them at double speed so that I talk a lot faster and I'm a lot less boring. So there you go. You can watch these on YouTube or Facebook. And let me share the document with you guys for today. The topic is blogging. So we're going to talk about blogging and content creation using Conversion and KV Cores. So let's go ahead and pop this in, and then we'll jump right into the content here. Can everybody hear me? Can somebody say you can hear me? And it's funny, I actually, for whatever reason, I need somebody to reply, thank you, Rowena, in order to send the document link. That's the real reason I'm asking that. It's the weirdest thing, but go to webinar, won't let me paste that link to you until somebody has talked in the questions box. All right, guys, let's jump right in. Enough rambling on. So we're going to talk about Conversion and KV Core blogging tactics. And first off, I'll just jump in and talk about why we want to blog. You guys probably know a lot of these reasons, but I'll just run through them really quick. One of the big reasons is so that you can let people know, like, and trust you, and demonstrate expertise. We all have probably at least a few hundred, but more likely a few thousand competitors in our markets to contend with. So blogging and creating content in general is our opportunity to differentiate ourselves and show that we're not like the next guy, and let people build rapport with us around different pieces of content. Another reason to do blogging and blogging on Conversion and KV Core is that you'll actually get free clicks and exposure due to the fact that every time property alerts go out and other communications go out from the system, a lot of times there's a link to the latest blog posts. They're featured in various different emails that the system sends. So if you're one of the active bloggers at your company, there's a good chance that your stuff will be seen by a lot of people. There is some organic SEO benefits, so there's a chance that your blog posts can be found on Google based on the content and if you've titled them. I'll have some resources about SEO. We'll touch upon that a little bit today, but you can get free traffic. I should put that in the parentheses here. Free traffic. Here we go. Joy's asking, do I mean blogging on Conversion? Yes, blogging on Conversion and KV Core. Okay. And then lead magnets. So I have here another reason is that we talk a lot here about creating different ways for people to engage with us to become leads that aren't sort of the standard search for real estate on my property type offers. Everybody can go to Zillow, but by creating a good blog post around a specific piece of theme or idea, that might give you something that you can use in order to generate leads, where you put a landing page in front of the content or you use a Facebook lead ad and then people opt in for that content. The truth is, personally, I almost never create a lead generation campaign in anything I do without actually creating some unique piece of content first. It will work driving traffic straight to your conversion website around the property list. That stuff all works, but you can get higher quality if you do it around specific ideas and content that you're creating. So there we go. That's the sort of why behind it all. I'm sure I missed some ideas. From the company standpoint, of course, there's also safety in numbers, maybe I'll call it, in numbers, or crowdsourcing, SEO. Basically, if you are the team leader or the broker and you have a lot of people at your company blogging, that kind of helps everybody out because there's more visibility for your content and better chances from all these things above that you'll get quality leads. All right, so I'll run through quickly just how to create a blog post in both of the platforms. It's pretty easy stuff. We'll look at the editors and things like that. So I'll jump into Conversion first. It's now called Conversion Plus, as many of you may have seen. There's some new features, a new UI, new design here. It looks nice, crispy and clean, so fresh and so clean. And if you want to create a blog post and edit blogs, you're going to go, the easiest way to get there is to click on Quick Actions up above, and then you can go to Add or Edit Blog right here. And just a few of the nuances here: title, best, highest priced listing in St. Pete right now. I believe the editor will not allow punctuation marks and things of that nature still. I think that's on the list of things to be done. But so if you have problems saving this, it's because you can't have special characters. And then you can just go ahead and type in the editor, same way you would with, say, Microsoft Word or something. So a few tips. You're going to want to use the paragraph headers to break up your content, right? So, you know, have different H2s and H3s as you move through. In Conversion, you can actually paste video links to specific videos. So say I wanted to add this blog post, right? This recording of a YouTube video of one of our recent sessions. I could take the URL for that, and I could actually pop it in right there. And you can also use embed code directly. Okay. Images you can upload by simply entering the URL of the image or dragging and dropping, and so on. So it's not really, there's not a lot to really show you here. You know, basically, when you create the content, you're going to use this editor to put a title and then start popping the content in the box. You can mess around with the dates. You can publish it and don't update the blog post time. You can publish it and update it. You can set an auto post date sometime in the future. There. So the good question, Joy. I'll get to that in a second. And Elizabeth, I'll answer your question here in a second too about where to find this in KV Core. It's pretty much the same, but I'll show you in just a second. So you can set your date, your auto date. Another thing I want to mention, just a little nuance, is that if you have a post that was already done, say I want to go back to my 3 steps to becoming a real estate agent, a licensed real estate agent blog post here, you actually have to unpublish it before you can edit. I remember that being frustrating for me before I realized that. So save you guys a little stress. If you want to go back, you have to unpublish it. Then you'll be able to edit it, change things, and you just need to save it, you know, publish it again. So a few questions Joy is asking here. So if I put a link in, will it pop the content into the blog? No, that's an iframe. It won't directly show the content. And I don't know if Annalise, are you here? Not sure if Annalise is here today, but I think there are some tags. I'll put them in the doc afterwards. I think you can actually add property search results into the blog. And I meant to research that beforehand. I apologize. And I just am forgetting offhand how to do that. Let's take a look here and see if I can figure it out. It may be one of the options. I remember seeing it in Core. Not quite sure. Now you can link to, of course, you can link to specific other sites. If you want to link out to a site, you can insert hyperlinks, things of that nature by using the editor. The next question was, does it have to be a YouTube video first before you put the YouTube video in? Yeah, it needs to be on YouTube before you can use that add a video feature. So if you have created a video, you'll want to make it, upload to YouTube, and then you can put it inside of your blog post. Incidentally, embedding YouTube videos can be beneficial to SEO. It's not mind-blowing, but it could actually help both increase the inbound linking and the signal to YouTube that that video should rank higher if you've embedded it in a third-party site and there's links coming from your site into YouTube, and vice versa. If you're linking back to the blog post from the description of the YouTube video, it could create a nice circular thing there that helps rank both of them. Elizabeth's asking, are you able to embed an interactive chat? On the embeds, you see here where we have this little embed sort of code looking thing that I'm toggling right here back to the black. I believe that you can embed certain things. You'll see you can embed iframes, I think. I don't think you can embed certain scripts, and that's for security reasons to stop from hacking. So it depends on the nature of that chat widget that you have, and you can always ask support. Yeah, you should be able to pop, Elizabeth's saying she has an iframe. You should be able to pop that in here. I would just test it out, but I'm pretty sure it'll work out for you because the YouTube videos themselves are iframes. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the basics here of the editor in Conversion. It's very easy to use. I mean, you don't need to give a lot of thought. You just pop a title in, you start typing. You know, maybe you want to put an image or a video. That's kind of the hardest thing you can end up doing. Over in KV Core, right here, I'm going to go same thing up to quick actions. It's just a little bit over to the left from where it was in Conversion, and I can scroll down to blog posts. And same thing, I can add a post up here. And the editor is just slightly different. I don't think they have the video thing in there yet, but you can embed a video by clicking, again, the source code option, the same little kind of carrots right here. They probably look small to you guys right now, but you can always embed your YouTube embed code there. And you have all the same, heading options. One thing I did notice in KV Core is pretty cool stuff. I hope they bring it to conversion too. And I also hope they bring the videos to KV Core, is that you can insert merge tags for the agents. So you could put your site URL, you can put the lead's name in. So I think this is pretty cool. You could write a blog post and be like, hey, Ryan, hey, Joy, as you're sitting there reading this, you might be thinking about buying a house sometime soon. It looks like the article's personalized to them. So that's kind of fun. So if I did hi, right here, kind of cool stuff. So just a cool little feature, little merge tags with this little asterisk looking thing right here. But otherwise, it's going to be pretty similar to use, and you're just going to pop your title and your content in to make the blog post. Will I need a special plugin? No special plugins. Can I add an RSS feed into KV Core? Not sure on that, Joy. You can probably embed RSS feeds into a blog post using some kind of widget that's out there, but I need more details on that. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, guys, let me know specifically what you're trying to embed in things, and if you want to email support or email me, I might be able to help out. But there's basic embedding. Let's put it that way. You can embed basic stuff like iframes. The scripts are going to be a little tougher. Okay, so back to our document. That's sort of the how-to, but what I really wanted to get to is kind of the fun stuff, and that's what we generally do on these webinars, is more of the tactical, bigger picture, the ideas and the brainstorming, to give you guys some inspiration rather than the nitty-gritty of, kind of how the platform works. We have an awesome support area with articles galore on how everything works, and of course the support team will answer any of those questions you guys might have. So let's jump in now and talk a little bit about things that you might blog about. I know a lot of people think blogging, ugh, like what am I going to come up with? I'm not that, what do I do? And it's actually not that hard. And I have a series of bullet points here that'll give you more than enough fodder for content to create on your site. They'll keep you going for years to come. And as I talk about each of these things, remember that this stuff is not only meant to be used, doesn't only have to be used on your conversion site. You can then take it and put it on your social media properties. You can email stuff out and drip email campaigns. So it's not just limited to putting it inside of the Conversion or KV Core platform. But I will say that it is cool to create the content in the platform first and then syndicate out. So let's go in. What to blog about? First thing obvious to me would be blogs about properties. So example blog post would be the St. Pete property of the day. You could easily create that post, right? The St. Pete, Florida property of the day, every single day of the week. You can pick a new property, paste a picture of it, and then talk about why you think it's cool. I saw this last week. It's got a great bathroom, and just show your expertise about the property. I think it's priced right. I think it's priced too high, but maybe the seller will come down. Editorialize there. You could always do a just listed post, any new listing at your office or anybody else's office, if you talk about it in the right way with permission. This property was just listed. This property was just sold. You could also talk about properties that have sold and be sort of a reporter, talk about what you're seeing in the MLS. So that's pretty easy. I did miss my favorite one here is niche focused property searches. So that would be like, it's kind of tied to the next section of the list post, but it would be like new construction homes under 500K in Tampa. Stuff like that, fixer-uppers, $1 million fixer-uppers, where you would just more or less run the search on your site and then embed it into a blog post. Next kind of post you could do is list posts. So you could do 5 hacks for first-time buyers. I believe that very post I have sitting on my site. So I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. 5 hacks for first-time home buyers. Here we go. Here we go. So it starts, I see how I have an embedded video. And what I did here was I wrote the post, right? And in fact, if you guys want, I'll paste the link to this. You can feel free to copy this if you want, or take the ideas, because this post goes over well, actually, both on mortgage sites and on my real estate site. And then what I did was I recorded a video of me sort of talking about the post. Right. So it's just more to the idea behind that is not only is it text, but people can hear my voice and you can have a little fun with it. And for the people who don't want to read, they have an an audible way to to engage with it. So let's pop this into here. Example. There we go. Okay, so that's a list post. 5 hacks for first-time home buyers. 5 hacks for sellers. 5 hacks for anything. 5 hacks for new investors, right? Things like that. Next thing, 7 things you'll need in order to get a mortgage, right? So you could talk about the mortgage preparation process. Here is sort of a list post around specific properties. The 3 hottest neighborhoods to invest in St. Pete, Florida. Now this would make a very juicy, and it's been years since I've used this, but I know this works well because I used to use it in the past in Philadelphia, is to talk about your favorite neighborhoods to invest in where you think that maybe it's the next sort of neighborhood to pop. This will work great in big cities, especially. So 3 hottest neighborhoods to invest in. St. Pete, Florida, you do a quick post there. You can always do the 5 highest or lowest priced homes in an area, 5 most expensive homes in Myrtle Beach, right? You can do the 10 most walkable homes. Remember, if you go to your website, there are a lot of different search functions built in. So I'm going to go here. And this was actually the first in this webinar series. I think we did this. It was a webinar called Getting Free Leads from Your Social Sphere. And a lot of that strategy relied on what I'm talking about right now, where you just start running searches for different things and posting them to your Facebook or to your LinkedIn. In this case, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to make a blog post about the search, and then we'll syndicate it from our blog out. So let's say here I go to walkable. See all these general options? So it could be the 10 most walkable. I believe, well, you can sort by walkable. Yes, you can sort by walk score. So I would do in Pinellas. So we'll just do Pinellas County. I run my search, and then I can sort down here by walk score. So now what do I have? I have my, if I said the 10 most walkable homes in St. Peter in Pinellas County, I don't have to necessarily only have 10 here. I could take each one and link to it separately from my blog post, right? Or I could just link to the post. I could say the most walkable homes. So you can link to each one individually or just link to the whole post. This is interesting content, right? And it will play well on social media and will cause people to engage with it when they come back to your site. Say they're looking at a list of property alerts that you're sending them, and then they see out of the corner of the side this 10 most walkable properties. It'll just make them stick around a little longer and increases the chances that they'll do something with you and reach out to you. This one came up in the group the other day. Somebody's talking about homes with fences or awesome houses. Like, how would I list homes that are close to a dog park? Now, while we can't exactly go in here, I do think that map searching is on its way with conversion. I'm not sure where it's at core, where you can drop a pin and then maybe around the local dog park and do that. But it doesn't really matter. You could manually figure out the top 3 to 5 properties that are great for dogs. Maybe they have a fenced-in yard and they're close to Clark Park there in Philly or something, and you can post them inside of a blog post. Joy's asking, do you post these on your personal Facebook page or business page? I'm going to get to that in a second, but for the purposes of what I'm saying right now, let's just assume that every time we create this content, we're going to make a blog post on conversion first or on core. All right, so there's going to be a blog post that exists with this topic, and then in a minute, we're going to go ahead and then syndicate it out and post it to our social networks as a way to generate traffic back into our website. Next one, 7 55+ communities for downsizing buyers to consider. This could easily be the 7 highest priced homes in 55+ communities or the 7 lowest priced homes in 55+ communities. I think you guys are getting the point. And I put here again, 5 best neighborhoods to invest in. I must really like that idea because I've said it twice. So 5 best neighborhoods to invest in. It could be 5 best neighborhoods for first-time home buyers. So where's the affordable inventory in a good school district? Lowest price per square foot homes in York suburban school district. So the idea, there's limitless ideas, guys. You can just go in and slice and dice the real estate inventory you have and come up with some really interesting sets of properties. And it only needs to be 3 or 4 properties. Remember, people are distracted as we are. They don't have 30 minutes to read a whole blog post. But if you can hit them with 4 or 5 links to listings really quick, and they feel like it was kind of fun and cool, there's a good chance they'll share it with their friends, which is where you can start to get some viral traffic if you could do a good job, you know, of coming up with your titles and themes. Next types of posts I have here, interview with a local resident or business owner. I do believe if I Google York, PA train store, this is the example I always use. I think a video I did back in 2009 will still come up. And this guy loved me. I did this post. It's had 7,000 views, and it was linking to my old real estate website. I'm pretty sure it's not there anymore, but there you go. It's got comments and everything, and you could just go to any local business owner, do a quick tour. I didn't even talk. I just kind of walked through. It's shaky, and then I said to the owner, "Hey, I did a quick video. You know, it's the whatever you do on the blog post. You could go York, PA Business of the Week, B&A Junction Electric Trains. You know, something like that." And you can do that all weeks, all day, or maybe that is your blogging. That's how you're going to blog. You're never going to do any of this other stuff I'm talking about, but you're only going to interview local business owners or do tours of local businesses. I also have here interview with a local resident. This is really cool stuff too. You know, what do you grab a friend of yours, a relative, and just say, hey, how long have you lived here? What's your favorite thing about living here? You know, where's your house? When did you buy it? Things like that, and you can make a really cool, interesting blog post. And of course, that local resident is going to share that blog post with their friends. You're kind of hacking their sphere of influence so that you get people coming to your website and possibly becoming leads with you. Neighborhood driving tours. Go ahead, don't be careful, don't hold your phone up while you're driving. Maybe bring somebody with you, but it would be very easy for you to go out and spend a few hours driving around your town on the few neighborhoods you want to focus on, and just do a nice driving tour of different subdivisions or neighborhoods, which will be very interesting content to somebody who's moving in who is not from the area. Somebody relocating will be like, oh, cool, I got a nice tour of this, you know, it'll give them context, and also they'll have a chance to hear you talking about the neighborhood and demonstrating your expertise. Real estate investing tips, boring but easy to come up with, right? You can just go buy a book on investing if you're not an expert yourself and come up with a few ideas, or look for some YouTube videos about it. Real estate negotiating tips. So 5 or 6, you know, tips for negotiating. You can talk about something that came up in the course of your negotiating a contract and just make a blog post about that. Maybe make a vlog, V-L-O-G, a video blog, where you just hold up your phone and say, hey, I was out, you know, I have this property under contract and this crazy thing happened because so-and-so did this wrong, you know, or something they should avoid or something they should do. Or here's how I got my seller an extra $5,000 by asking for highest and best. I don't know, probably a bad example, but you get where I'm going there. Demonstrate your expertise on negotiating tips. This one's fun, a series of videos digging into specific clauses on your standard contract. So, you know, you could fire up a contract here. I just happen to have one now. And you could just kind of bring up your standard form and do a series of videos about each clause. And at this point, I want to bring up one of my favorite tools. I mentioned this tool often on these sessions, but you could go down and say, hey, let's talk today about the property inspection contingency. And what I would use for that is Screencast-O-Matic. Here it goes. I have it right here, screencast-o-matic.com, and I can just hit record. I can draw a little box. Whoops, I think I just showed you guys all inside the box. And then I hit record, and I can even put my webcam on here. I think this is, we'll do both. I'll be down in my corner, and then I can talk. Hit record. Hey, Ryan here with eXp Realty. Today, I just want to talk about the property inspection clause in the standard agreement of sale, and then you just start going, right? Talk as if you were talking to the client. You know, you're sitting across the desk from a client explaining the clause. This could also be a big time saver for you. So you could create a video about each clause in the contract, make a separate blog post about them to demonstrate your expertise, and then also have them on hand. You can give those links to your buyers as the questions come up. So if they start to ask you, about something, you go, oh, here, I have a long video about this you can watch later. Something like that. So use Screencast-O-Matic in conjunction with your contract software, and you can come up with so many different cool blog posts and topics just using the standard forms that you have at your disposal. I have here lender content. Steal it. So, if you happen to work with a lender who creates a lot of content, Bond Street Mortgage is one where I work with them a lot. We create a lot of content over there, and it's nice to be able to, it helps the lender if more of their stuff is getting out there, and also makes for great content on the real estate blog. So go to your lender and say, hey, have you done any blogging? Do you have any videos? Would you mind if I embed? And of course they're going to say yes, because it helps get them free eyeballs on whatever it is they're doing and offering. So it doesn't just need to be the lender. It could be, I should say, partner content. So we go lender, title, insurance, right? Real estate attorney, home inspectors. I think you get the point. So go to your partners and say, hey, do you have any cool videos you've done? I saw you created that neat video about this. Would you mind if I embedded it on my blog and repurposed it? Maybe do an intro about it, write text around the video that they created. So partner content right there. Also, feel free, if you want to put recruiting content, if you see any of my videos personally here at Inside Real Estate, these replays, if you want to embed them on your site, I don't think there's any problem with that. It'll help spread the word about Inside Real Estate, but it could also help you recruit to the platform as well if you want. So just for some inspiration there, partner content. Real estate lifestyle. Again, this would be recruiting. Show your latest your commission or residual check, what have you. You can do a tour of your office, interview somebody who works at your company. So this might be something the team leader or the broker does, and they just commit to once a month or once a week doing one of these kind of posts on the site, so that people looking out from the outside in, it could be competitors who are spying on you, see what you're doing, or even people who are thinking about getting into the business can get a feel for what you're all about, and it could be a good recruiting tool, blogging in this case. Next would be my favorite here, webinars. So I think we've all probably sat on a webinar. Oh, wait, we're sitting on one right now. Now, you might have sat on a sales webinar, but you can easily go to Google Drive. I've done this so many times. Maybe I can actually give you an example. Boy, I'm putting myself on the spot here, but one of my favorite things to do is to just go into Google Drive and create a slide. They have their slide creator. So I click new. Yes, here it is. Good, 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 good. Give me 1 second, guys. My computer's freezing up a little. John, this is being recorded. It will be posted to the Facebook groups, KV Core and Conversion, and also it's in the doc underneath the title. There's a link to the recording as well. You'll be able to find all the other recordings here. So here's an example. I like to fire up Google Slides. It's free to use, right? It's like PowerPoint. You go to Google Docs or just Google Slides and it'll pop up for you. And I did this with Mike over at Bond Street, and we just, I said, Mike, we're going to do a webinar. This is kind of how it went, right? And you can do this to anybody. So we're going to do a webinar. He's like, well, what about? I said, don't worry about it. Just email me 7 bullet points, things that people don't know about the VA loan program, right? And he emailed them to me, and I literally took each of his bullet points and I made a slide, right? And then me and him, nobody was actually live on the webinar. I know a lot of you guys are hearing webinar. Oh no, I'm going to be live. It's nerve-wracking. No, I got on we got on like a shared screen. I use Zoom or something like that. You can use Google Hangouts, even Facebook Live maybe. And we just recorded us talking about each of the slides. Now, this particular webinar has generated, I think I looked the other day, it's been something like 1,100 leads, just giving away this webinar. Right, so it's about 18 minutes long. It was 18 minutes of us talking. I uploaded it to YouTube. I might have, you know what? I think I even used Screencast-O-Matic, and I had him on the phone. It was really hokey. But 1,100 leads, and just because it's sexy content, it's sexy to be able to say, hey, here's a webinar about something. So you could record that, A quick video, basically interviewing somebody else. Could be a first-time home buyer webinar, first-time investor webinar, how to become a real estate agent, things to consider when changing real estate offices, how to downsize, upsize with as little stress as possible. That would be kind of like how to sell your current home, you know, and then buy a bigger one step by step without going nuts, right? Since you have to sell the one house and move into another, you can really position yourself as an expert around that, and how to buy land and build on it. So I have here webinars, but really what I'm talking about is just videos. You know, it is sexy though to say recorded first-time home buyer webinar. It has a little bit of a lore to it. How did you do a lead gen with the webinar? I don't know if I'm allowed to show that one because VA loans are really competitive. But basically, I just run a Facebook ad. You know what I mean? It just says 7 things you don't know about VA loans. I don't want to show the exact ad, but that's about it. So you could just say free first-time home buyer webinar, and you could go into conversion, of course, or KV Core, and we could go here to our lead engine, and we could even make a landing page. Right, so we can go here, make myself a landing page, start building. There's a separate webinar, of course, in this series I did about 2 months ago at this point, all about how to use the landing pages. And I could simply create, go. Well, that is unfortunate. 1 second here. You guys still with me? Is it just my site glitching out? Or did something happen here? Yeah, I think it might have just been that domain. I must have a typo or something. But anyway, I could go right here and just say free Tampa area, Tampa, Florida, first time buyers webinar. And then after they opt in, my URL after login will simply be the blog post where I have the webinar. Or it could be 5 hacks for first-time home buyers, and so on. So the question is, how did you do the lead generation for the webinar? It's the same as I would do for any of this content, either a landing page or more advanced would be a Facebook lead ad where people opt in and you redirect them to the content. You can also just link people directly to the content and retarget. That's even more advanced, but that's actually where things are going, where you do the content first, and anybody who engages with that content, you start to show them direct lead generation ads. But I think we're about a year, maybe not, but we're a year or 2 away from that idea being really, really mainstream. Things are going to get a lot harder and a lot more competitive here, guys. So it is good that you're sitting on these things. All right. Yes, I can repeat and post where to find the recordings for you guys. It's conversion.com, facebook.com/conversion/videos. And I think I made a shorter link. Yes, conversion.info/webinars. /webinars. I made this the other day because I was sending it to somebody. So I'm going to send that to all you guys. For webinar replays. Okay. All right, so that is that, webinars and videos. Next idea, I kind of touched on this, is curation. So this is okay to do. If somebody posts a video to YouTube, so let's get one. Let's say how to invest in land. I don't know, random idea. Okay, and I have no idea who this is. You probably don't want to show a competitor's video, but if you have somebody who's the Real Estate Guys radio show, you know, maybe you go ahead and you watch this, you want to educate yourself how to invest in land, right? You could take this video and embed it in your site. Now, what I'm talking about is not stealing or plagiarizing. I wouldn't take this and write it word for word. But what you could do is you could create a blog post. You could say, you could title it "How to Invest in Land," and you could say, hey, you know, I was brushing up the other day about land investing, and I found this great video from the Real Estate Guys. Here it is embedded below. after you're done watching it, if you'd like to talk to me a little further about the best land investing opportunities in St. Pete, Florida, go ahead and reach out to me. Here's my cell phone. That would be a totally appropriate curated content. You're not stealing anybody. All the credit is there. You just say, hey, it's from these guys. You can link to their channel and all that. And that is part of the reason why people use YouTube, is because they, the ideal thing to happen to you is that somebody embeds your content and gets you free traffic. So curation, right there, almost any relevant video on YouTube could work. You could even, again, you could take content from, but all right, I'll leave it at that. So real estate stuff, mortgage financing stuff, maybe local events. Maybe there's a video of a local restaurant you really liked. You could talk up the restaurant and then embed their video. Anything to kind of make the content more dynamic. You can also link to articles from Inman, Bigger Pockets, things of that nature. Say, hey, I was reading this article the other day, and try to tie it into your local market and why it's relevant to the reader. And again, here I have don't plagiarize, just summarize and editorialize. Now let's get a little bit more to the fun part. Don't forget to syndicate content. So as time goes on, I'm not really great about this, but I have like probably 5 or 6 blog posts on my site here, mostly for the purposes of demoing to you guys. But after a little while, you can go here and you find your blog posts. And what you can do is you can start to syndicate them out to other channels. You can do it as you create each one, and you can even automatically do it via RSS. So let's click here through the one. It's my sales transactions one I talked about when we did our seller lead generation. And I can take this post when I'm done making it. I don't think I need to show you this, but I will. Head on over to Facebook. Boom. It'll try to fetch the preview. If not, I can manually upload an image related to it. Then I can head on over to LinkedIn. I was talking about the RSS feed, I believe, and apologies again for that. And if you go to the feed here in the doc, it will look like gobbledygook to the human eye. Here we go. But basically, we'll have all your blog posts in it, and you can use that to syndicate to third-party sites. Okay. Again, sorry for that disruption. I actually had to switch. I don't know what happened to the router where I am. I had to switch over to my phone, and it seems to have worked. All right, so don't forget to mass email or mass text content. So now, every time you've created a new blog post, if it's relevant, you can go back into your dashboard. And this sort of falls under syndication, right? You just created the content, you put it on Facebook, you put it on LinkedIn, you put it on Twitter, and now you're going to go ahead under quick actions, and you can start to mass email and mass text to relevant people. So let's say I have my post about, well, what's this? Gulfport real estate transactions. I might mail this out to my Gulfport hashtag, or a better example might be, okay, my first time home buyers webinar. And then I could mass email that out to the right hashtag. Point is, I'd send that to all my St. Pete fixer-upper people, because I know I've been targeting people who are likely to be first-time home buyers with that. And you just write the email and say, hey, I just created a new blog post. It's got first-time home buyers webinar. It's got the 5 lowest price fixer-uppers in the area, whatever it might be, and send it out as part of your syndication efforts right there. Okay. Everybody follow me okay? I got a little flustered there with the internet going out. I probably was talking for about a minute before I realized it. All right. So don't forget to mass email, mass text specific hashtags when relevant. Here's another idea. It just came to me. Check with broker, but also feel free to syndicate content of other people at your office. So I was just on my site and I noticed, I was trying to find my blog post, but I noticed here, really cool. is that there are other agents at my office who are creating content every day. Daniel here has 56 posts. So let me go in and look at him. I can look and see what he's doing. And he's got a post here. This is cool. How to get seized property from the government. Cool. You know, so browse the content of other people on your site. You can actually link to this post you see up here. It might look small to you guys, but this is actually a blog post that somebody at my office created, but it's on my site, on my URL. So if somebody came here and read this post and became a lead, I would actually get it. So we can sort of operate, leverage the content of other people at our company, use that to share on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and get leads back into us, our fold for free. Okay, last thing I have here, broker team leader strategy with all this content creation. If you want, you can give each team member a specific type of post to complete every week or month. So you might go around to everybody and maybe show them this webinar, go to the document and say, hey, why don't you do a property of the day every day, or every Friday you'll do the property of the day, right? So once a week they got to do a thing. Why don't you do the last 5 properties sold once a week, you know, and so on. So if you give everybody duties with the blogging, and there's a lot of content going on your site, over time, the cumulative effort from an SEO perspective and from an engagement perspective with people who are getting alerts, you know, all your leads come in your site, they're getting alerts, they're clicking around like, wow, this site has so much cool, great, engaging content. You know, they're sharing it with their friends. You can really start to build momentum. So one strategy would be to require a certain blog post from everybody. And yeah, dare I say it, you could threaten to remove them from the rotation if not completed, right? So don't send leads to anybody unless they blog. And I apologize for not remembering, but I do think you can actually require it out of the box. Don't hold me to that, but there may be some settings in the broker dashboard that allow you to do that automatically if content's not being created. If not, we can put that on the dev list, maybe do it as a feature request, or it's easy enough, of course, to do an audit once a week. Just make sure everybody's doing their content. If not, don't let them have leads till they do it. And then the final thing here is if you want to get really serious about content creation, maybe hire a content marketer, or even just take a new agent who's not too busy yet and throw them a few bucks, you know, say, hey, will you, for a few $100 a month, will you create a post, you know, 3 times a week? That could be a good way to start getting content going in an affordable way, you know, while also giving somebody new at your office something to do. Okay, so extras here, I have a link to Copy Blogger. This is sort of the site I remember reading a lot when I started blogging. It's got lots of posts about just, you know, writing blog posts in a way that'll make you money. I did a quick search. There's a quick list here of blogs about content marketing. Okay, so there's probably lots of stuff you can dig into here, find lots of great information about how to create awesome content that people will engage with so that they become leads. And then there was a HubSpot article I was reading this morning about SEOing your blog posts. I'm not exactly an expert these days. I used to study SEO a lot more. The basics of it is that you're going to want to put some keywords you want to rank for in your title, mention them a few times in the blog post. You're going to want to use H2s and headers, and there's some technical things you can do. And this blog post really lays it out nicely. You can sort of use this as a checklist for every blog post and see if you have all of these elements in there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I want to apologize again. This is 2 weeks in a row with the internet connection issues. They're mostly random, but I'll see what I can do about not having them happen again. Can we do the video in KV Core? John's asking. Video is not in there yet, but you can embed the video. You can embed videos in KV Core. You just don't have that quick little button to use. So I can show you again how to use the embed tool. I think we did it in the beginning of the video. So if I go to quick actions, blog posts, edits, and then it's this little kind of source code thing here. You can put the video code you get from YouTube here. So I'm on a YouTube video, and then you go to the little share icon, and they give you this little bit of code if you click on embed. You can pop that in. Embedding a map on the blog, I believe you can do that. I've noticed that I've had 50 leads called. Okay, so people are calling you, but you don't hear your phone ring. I'm not sure, Joy. That would be a support thing. Let's see if it's routing to the right phone number, or for some reason your phone it's going straight to voicemail or something. I would definitely check with support on that. Lord, so if you wanted to embed a map, I think you can. I think Google Maps has an iframeable, if that's what you're asking. So haven't done this in a while. So if I click share on the map, yeah. So if you go to a map on Google Maps and you click embed, it'll give you this little iframe code, and you can pop it right in here again to the source code on your site if you need to. Excellent tip. Laura's saying be careful to click off show related videos. I know that is like the bane of my existence, because you never know what's going to show at the end of those, and I do. Yeah, it's easy to forget. So when you're embedding a YouTube video, you have all those options on the embed. Just turn off related videos. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, sure. Sarah's asking, can you recap real quick on syndicating with RSS? So I kind of went quick because I kind of don't want to encourage it, because I know firsthand that a lot of times if you auto syndicate content these days, Facebook's going to give you a low edge rank, and you might get a few clicks here and there, but you're going to do a lot better manually, posting a link to your content, maybe doing a little sentence or two about what it's about, putting a cool image that accompanies it and things like that. You're going to get much more leverage out of your post. But if you're in a hurry or you have a lot of content to syndicate, you can use your blog RSS URL, which you get by going to your website and then adding this blog rss.php to the end. And you can feed it to Zapier has a way, Zaps, Zapier.com, Buffer, Hootsuite, right? Is that the other one? Hootsuite. I haven't used any of these in a long time. Hootsuite. And personally, at some point, I probably created a piece of content a day for almost 10 years, right? It starts to become like a habit for, you wake up every morning and want to create a blog post. And then you learn real quick that if you're auto syndicating, you almost get no results from it. So it's a lot more fun. You create the content, you just go around in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. It takes 15 minutes. You just share it with the world. But if you want to automate, Hootsuite, Buffer, and Zapier has some cool stuff you can do there. If you're already using Zapier, you can do it from there. Any links for getting source material on the blogs? John, do you mean like pre-made content that you can repurpose? So what I was trying to do here, I might be misunderstanding your question. What I was trying to do by having these ideas is to say that I really think it's better to create your own things, but it becomes very easy to do if you just kind of take these frameworks. I know a lot, like not all of us can write or want to write. We have other things to be doing. We need to be belly to belly. But you can make a pretty good blog post by just saying, hey, here's the the 3 most walkable properties in St. Pete, and it just link real quick. I don't actually, I don't have any source content. You could go to the drip. Here's a tip. And this is not in KV Core yet, so sorry I have to keep saying that, but if you go to conversion and you use the search box for drip campaigns, oh, here it is up top. And I think you type shared, right? We did this a week or 2 ago with Annalisa, shared this with us. And you go to the shared emails, you might find some ideas here for blog posts. Otherwise, yeah, there's companies out there that are doing content. I think Circle Picks, I don't know what kind of content they have, but they may have, I know they have the social, a social product. Circle Picks is in the Inside Real Estate family now. So you might want to check them out. Maybe get their automated syndication service. And then on the posts that you really like, you could turn them into blog posts on your site as sort of seed content. Yep. Otherwise, just go and maybe go in a group and say who's written a blog post recently. That would be a cool thing to post in the Facebook groups. Actually, maybe I'll talk to Annalisa. Maybe I can remember to do it like every Thursday. We'll say, hey, post your latest blog post here so we could just see whatever, what each other are doing. That might be a fun thing to do on a regular basis in a group. So John, yeah, I'll work on that. But otherwise, yeah, you kind of gotta get out there and make the stuff. Or hire writers are pretty affordable, or get an admin. Just find somebody, pay them $10 or $15 a post if you want. But I really do think it's better to for us to create our own stuff. Okay. Anybody have any more questions? How was this today, aside from the audio cutting out? Appreciate any feedback you have. I'll definitely get the recording live in the next few hours, or by first thing tomorrow morning in the groups. And again, we have a whole library on the YouTube channel. It's under conversations, and then on the Facebook conversion page, facebook.com/conversion/videos, you can see all of these from week to week. I think this is the 17th one in the series. So you have hours and hours of listening pleasure to dig into right here at the playlist. If you go to videos under the conversion fan page, it's all right here for you. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Sarah. All right, we'll see you all next Tuesday. I've been playing around with Snapchat and Twitter ads, and I was going to do those today, but I'm not thrilled with the results so far. I'm getting cheap clicks, but not conversion. So I want to play with it a little more, so I have actionable, concrete information for you guys on those platforms. So hopefully next week we'll be talking about alternative traffic sources, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, maybe even, and the other one that I mentioned. All right, everybody, have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.